Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Gemma and today we are going to have a look at my February TBR. So before we get into February's TBR, a couple of public service announcements. Firstly, if you missed my community post, my 10-year-old Sam has started up a Rudy based shorts channel. So if you are interested in seeing Rudy act like a moron on a regular basis, please go ahead and subscribe. I will leave the link below for you. And the other thing is, in May, me and Sam, aforesaid 10-year-old, and my mum are going to be walking 5 miles to raise money for the local hospice. If anyone would like to support, I will also leave a link for that below. Just think, if 200 people watch this video and everyone sponsors £1, that's £200 towards excellent end of life care. And I know it's excellent because I have had relatives experience the care at that hospice, and they are amazing people and deserve all the support we can give them. So any donations, 50p would be massively appreciated. I'll leave the link below. So with all the waffle out of the way, let's talk about last month's TBR first. So on top of my standard TBR, I only participated in one readathon, and that was the Past and Future Readathon, which I was co-hosting with the lovely Emily at Novell Novels, Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, and Jack at Spread Bookjoy. So how did I do with my own readathon? I think we all know the answer to this. So for favourite author, I picked The Well-Beloved by Thomas Hardy, and I did not get to that. So firstly, I love Thomas Hardy, and I just picked his shortest book. But when I put up my TBR for January, 2 people were like, really? That one, Gemma? Both Scott at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot and Jen the Librarian were both like, really? That one? So I put it to the bottom of the list, and we're now at the end of January, and I have not reached the bottom of the list because I never reach the bottom of the list. And so that one did not get read. A book from the future, I picked Record of a Spaceborn Few by Becky Chambers, and I have read that. For a children's book to relive your youth, I picked The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which I also have read. For anticipated read, I picked Know My Name by Chanel Miller, and I am ashamed to say that I still did not get to that one. For Set the Tone for the Year, I picked Elantris by Brandon Sanderson, which I'm still reading. I am like halfway through. I think Kristen from Enter the Book, who I'm buddy reading this with, finished it a few days ago. I'm still only at the halfway point, but very much enjoying it. For a TBR vet, I picked Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut, which I pretty swiftly DNF'd, but we still count DNFs on this channel, so tick. For an older protagonist, I picked Katherine Howard, The Tainted Queen by Alison Weir, and as you can see, I have started it. I'm about, I don't know, a third of the way through, so that counts. And for a book written set before I was born, I picked Jamaica In by Daphne du Maurier, which I have not yet started, but will be read in February because it's for the FOMO book club. So, so overall, not too bad. So how many was that? 5. Obviously, 2 of them I'm still reading, 1 of them I DNF'd, but we're going to say 5 out of 8, which I think is pretty successful, if I do say so myself. And so for my 4 buckets of TBR, we had a gold book, and the gold book that I chose was A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki, which I have read. For my Alice and Agatha challenge, I was reading Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. I have started it. I'm about 30% of the way through, so I probably won't finish it by the end of the month, but I'll be a good chunk of the way through, so tick for that one. For Read Across Canada, I read 5 Little Indians by Michelle Good. I think I'll put the picture here. Oh, I didn't write the author's name down. I'm pretty sure her name was Michelle Good, and I have read that. And for a book in a series, I doubled up and I put Record of a Spaceborn Few by Becky Chambers in there, and as you already know, I read that. So that, yes, that is 4 out of 4. What can I say? I'm just so good at completing TBRs. I think this is probably going to be the exception for the year rather than the rule. Just, you know, managing expectations. So let's move on to February's TBR, shall we? Okay, we'll start with the 4 buckets. I am not doing any readathons in February. None. Zip. Zilch. So the 4 buckets, we have a goal book, and I'm going to pick up My Man Jeeves by PG Wodehouse. This was one of the books from my 100 book bucket list challenge. I'll link the video below. So yes, this is short. I can get the audio from the library. That's why it's going on the list. Then for the Alison Agatha challenge, we have Taken at the Flood by Agatha Christie. I don't know anything about this. I don't feel like I really need to know anything about these Agatha Christie books before I go in. They feature Poirot. They are mysteries. I assume someone dies in all of them. And yes, we'll see what that one is like. For a book in a series, I'm going to pick up A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison, which comes highly recommended by the lovely Jack at Spread Book Joy. And then for the Read Across Canada challenge, this month is Alberta. Last month was British Columbia. And I have 2 options for this. I haven't quite decided which one I'm going to go for. So I'm just going to tell you about both. And if I read one of them, then I win. So the first is one that I actually own, and that is Washington Black by Essie Edugyan. Sorry, I'm not sure if that's how you say it. And this one, I think, takes place in Barbados. Something to do with an inventor and one of the field slaves on the plantation. I don't know too much about it. It was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2018, and I've obviously been meaning to for a while because it's on my shelf. So that is one option. The other option is When We Were Vikings by Andrew David MacDonald. And I can't remember what this one is about, but I will leave Jolene's recommendations video below because she talks about quite a lot of different books. This one was readily available on Scribd, so I shortlisted it for my February reads. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the Read Across Canada challenge is being run by the lovely Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl, where you read across different provinces through the year, and she gives amazing recommendations each month to help you if you are not super well versed on Canadian literature, which I am not. So she is very much helping me get through this challenge. So there are those 2 options for that bucket, and so those are my 4 like core TBR books that I want to get to. However, I also still have my intimidating read. You can see the mug here, which I have not yet started. The Eye of the World by Robin Jordan. It's quite large. I probably should have started it by now. However, I have not. So we'll see if I get to that one. Readalongs. So obviously I will be continuing with my own read-along. The Tudor Along, which I'm hosting with Emily from Nile Novels. As I've already mentioned, I'm getting through this, so that should not be a problem. Also, the lovely Becky at Teacup the Storyteller is hosting a read-along of The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas, which is her favourite book of all time. I read The Count of Monte Cristo last year and really enjoyed it, so interested to see what else Dumas has to offer. So I will be joining in with that read-along as well. Book clubs. There is my own book club, the FOMO Book Club, that I co-host with Jack from Spread Book Joy and Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. We are reading Jamaica in over January and February, and I have not yet started it, as aforementioned. So I will definitely be getting to that in February, and then there will be a live show on my channel at the end of February to discuss it. So if you'd like to join in, there is still time. Well, hopefully there's still time because I haven't read the book yet. So feel free to join along. All the details for the book club will be left below. Then there is the Fiction Addiction Book Club, which is hosted by Ange at Ange's Book Chatter and Amy at BookTube with Amy. And in February, they are reading The Anomaly by Hervé Letellier, translated from the French by Adriana Hunter. This one sounds super interesting. It's about a plane that goes missing, but then turns up twice with exactly the same passengers on. So yeah, excited to get to this one. Then there is also the Big Book Club, which I always struggle to say. It's really not that hard, Gemma. And that is hosted by Roisin at Roisin's Reading. And the book for January and February is The Makioka Sisters by Tanizaki, translated from the Japanese by Edward G. Seidensticker. So yes, this one is 4 sisters in Japan. I think they're sort of middle to upper class, and then the war hits, and it is how it affects their family sort of before, during, and after the war, I think, roughly. So I'm hoping to get to that one as well in February, because I have not yet picked it up, and it is quite chunky at like 550 pages. Then we go on to buddy reads, and I have 3 planned for February. So the first of which is a second try at buddy read with the lovely Heather from Reading with a Vengeance. We had an unsuccessful buddy read in December, so we put another one in the diary, and we are going to be reading Signal Fires by Danny Shapiro. I don't really know too much about this. I think it might be sort of psychological thriller. I may also be completely wrong about that, so just we'll see. But that doesn't come out till the middle of February in the UK, so I won't be reading that till mid-month, but very much looking forward to reading that with Heather. Then I am going to be buddy reading The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury with Alice from Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. I think this is sort of interconnected short stories, so we'll see. We'll see, because I don't have the best track record with short stories, but I have been told, Alice tells me, Ray Bradbury is the master, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then the last one is also a very chunky book, Tagana by someone or other, whose name I also did not write down, so I will put the picture here. And this is just a chunky fantasy book, and I'm reading this with Dia from Novel Idea, Jack from Spread Bookjoy, and Sandy from Miss Reads a Lot. Very much looking forward to getting to that, but I am aware that I have a lot of chunky books on the TBR. And as if all of that was not enough, because of course it's not, I did also sign up for the BookTube prize. So this may happen and it may not happen. It's pot luck whether you get chosen. If I do get chosen, I have applied for the fiction category. Then I will also have another 6 books I need to get through in February and March. So some of these may fall by the wayside. We shall see. But yes, that is everything I am reading in February. Let me know what you are planning to read. Are you joining in with any of these book clubs, read-alongs, etc., etc.? And remember that if you want to see more of this beautiful ginger face, you can subscribe to Sam's Shorts channel, which I'll link below. And yeah, if you wanted to check out all the other books in the FOMO book club, I will leave that here, and I'll catch you all very soon with another one. Bye, guys.